Hello, welcome to Smash Hit Sports. I'm Cody, and we have an incredible guest on today, Rav from Bookit Sports, a content creator that I've known for 2-3 years now. We've known each other
Yeah,
for a little bit. Rav just happens to root for pretty much every team I hate, which is incredible. We love that for him. I wish nothing but his absolute downfall, but he is a good dude. Rav, welcome to the show, man.
dude, Cody, thanks for having me on. It's been a while since we've talked, but I'm happy to be on and talk some college football. That's my literally thing, dude. I mean, we did a show a couple years ago, and now we're talking again. So
Yep. It's good to be back. Good to be
for sure.
back. So you are now with Bookit Sports, which if you don't know the Bookit Sports team at this point, I don't know what to tell you. They're all over the internet. What's it like working for a true bona fide, like legit sports media company that by all means looks like they've been kicking a whole lot of ass over the last, year or so?
Yeah, it's cool. I moved in a couple months ago now. I was very happy to get this opportunity after I interned with them, and it's cool to see everything that happens behind the scenes here, and how everyone is like off the camera and stuff, and it's cool to see their work ethic and how seriously everyone takes everything here and what they're trying to build here, and I was very happy to buy into that, and it's been great. Everything's been good. I'm very happy to be here, and I'm happy that they have like a bona fide plan for me too. I didn't just come in and just do my own thing. Like they have like a vision of for me for them, which I like. I like a lot. So it's great.
Hell yeah, hell yeah. What's the day to day like? Like, obviously, there's only so much stuff that you can have on camera for content, but there's so much that goes into that, right? Like, and obviously with sports betting, like you have the research that goes behind your picks, and then the content plan and all that. So, what is your like a day in the office for Rav?
Well, a lot of stuff that I still do outside of content, like I do like stuff behind the scenes. Like for example, I basically work hand in hand with our social media manager. So every morning we have like a content meeting for socials, and just trying to think of graphics and stuff to post on our main content channel, which I'm basically responsible for with 1 to 2 other guys. And that's like what I was what I was doing when I was interning. And that's still what I do now. And then I also will do other content on my own. Like I do the college football show every Tuesday called The Coin Toss with Mikey and Lauren and Javon. We actually just recorded that. And then behind the work stuff for that as well. I have to do lighting and audio and stuff for all the shows that go on here, and then just other stuff like that. And then the rest of the day, honestly, like after the morning, is pretty lax. I kind of like need to start doing my own kind of. I want to be more of like a Jack Mac figure in terms of content, where I'm just posting whatever I want to talk about, and be like a not like investigative journalist like he is, but just like something along those lines for Bookit. But I've been super into college football, so I basically just have been doing research and stuff for that, and trying to make this show as best as possible, and all the other behind the scenes stuff. So everything's been good. I also like to work out and stuff. I walk in the morning and then go to the gym. Probably go to the gym after this, but yeah, everything's been great.
Hell yeah, love it, love it. What so? How different? Because I know we have talked betting before, and the beautiful thing about sports betting over the last couple of years, it's changed a ton. But how do you think how you sports bet has changed between doing this as a hobby in college and then now doing it professionally for your job?
That's a good question. I look at it so differently. I know like when we worked together at TBSN, like it was I did not bet the same way I do now. I always now I kind of look at what the books are telling you through the line, right? And then I'll use that and then use what I think and then find like the happy medium or like the leeway. And that's kind of been working for me. Like I've done well the last few weeks. But when we were working together, I would always just see a line that I thought was weird and just bet it. And I just don't know if that's like, you can bet that way, but I don't want to lose money all the time, and I kind of like want to. it's like not being sharp, but like it's like just reading into the line and seeing what they're telling you, and then using that into your analysis or so is how I would bet, and how I've kind of learned that the other guys bet here too. So I wouldn't even say like a lot of the guys at Bookit are like sharp, but it is like they've been doing it for a while now, so they know what's right and what's wrong. That's kind of what I've picked up on now.
Well, it's worked for you because you crushed the books this weekend. You had the Get Nice. I think that was 2 weekends ago that the Get Nice hit. So you've been doing well. The end of that, watching your reaction of winning the parlay. How good of a feeling is it when? Because I know putting content out there, like there's always a little bit of like, is this shit good? Like, is it good? How good of a feeling was it when that cashed and you were just like, fuck yeah, I know what I'm talking about?
It was good. It was so good. Not only that because it was like like fuck you, everyone who thinks I don't know what you're talking about, but it was like like okay, I can do this. Like I know what I'm talking about. Like it was a big confidence boost, and I didn't have a good like week 1. Week 0 I went over. So I was a little nervous. But getting that was good, and like I was able to shut up everyone else here too that was dissing on me, and obviously jokingly, but it was good. And then last week was really good too. So I feel like I'm rolling now, and hopefully it keeps working.
Hell yeah. It is. I gotta ask this for my own personal sanity. Is Trent really the fade god? Is he intentionally bad at gambling, or does his luck just not go his way every once in a while? Because the dude is hilarious online, and I imagine he's the same way in person, but his bets, man, sometimes they just blow my mind.
No, it's not like a bit or anything. It's actually, that's just the way he is. Like it's not he's not doing it on purpose and stuff, but he's just a very he likes to bet on the good players, good teams, which makes sense. Like you'd think that's, you want to win bets, that's how you do it, and most of the time it does work, but there's just other times where he will just get hooked and like he just has the worst luck, and it's completely legit. Like it's crazy. I mean, he's been hooked on a few 4-mans like just by one player the last couple of days, which I'm like, how does this keep happening? It's crazy.
It truly, like, he is a good bettor, but it really is hilarious where there will just be some points where his luck is just bad for like several days in a row, and it is legitimately so funny to watch. But there's a reason
he can make.
There's a reason he's that good at sports betting entertainment. His shit is very, very funny. All right, last question about Bookit before we get into the college football slate.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Martians have the death beam pointed at Earth. You have to win one bet. It is a 2-man parlay. You and one other person on the Bookit team. Who are you picking to cook up that parlay with you?
Oh, that's a good question. Does it matter what sport or any sport? Football?
Any sport. Whatever you feel the most confident in. You get your pick. It's the one sports equinox day of the year where like the NHL, the NBA, the NFL, MLB, they're all playing. Everybody's playing all at once. You get your pick of any sport. Who you taking?
It's hard. I have 2, but I gotta choose between 2. I have Elsie, who she knows ball.
She is really a certified ball knower for sure. Also, wet jumper.
Yeah,
like a wet jump shot.
She literally played in college, I think. I had no idea. So either her or Chelly. Chelly can get in his bag with especially with 2-mans. That's his thing on Prize Picks. I'd probably have to go Chelly. Especially even in for hockey season, he does like the Chile or whatever. And his usually has like a favorite play of the Chile, like his POD. And there was a point last year where I remember his PODs were like 32-4 or something ridiculous. And he was consistently hitting 2-man Prize Pick entries, so I'd probably have to go Chelly. He's a great guy.
Yeah, that's one thing. I cannot bet hockey to save my life. I see his stuff come up. I'm like, all right, cool, I'll tail that. Because I do not know puck like that. Speaking of puck, Sidney Crosby back, 8.7 million.
Never left. He's still going at an elite rate, and it's crazy because he's literally the LeBron of hockey.
Yeah.
I'm ready to sit. Yeah.
He's going to haunt my dreams forever. As a Preds fan, like I just.
Oh, yeah. I forgot you're a Preds fan. But
Yeah,
you guys look great this year.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I'm a little nervous. I'm also a Bengals fan. That's gone real well. We're recording this on Tuesday, so after that Monday Night Football disaster,
oh my God!
Steelers are 3-0. The Bengals are 0-3. Pitt's undefeated. Notre Dame lost to Northern Illinois. I hate how happy you are currently. Your happiness it fuels my pain actively. But let's talk some college football this weekend. A great slate of games. What game are you most excited to watch just from a fan perspective? Not your favorite bet, but like what game are you absolutely going to be dialed into the TV for?
Well, I mean, it's got to be Georgia-Bama, right? Like, that's always one of the best games of the year. And that's really outside of Notre Dame-Louisville, which, by the way, I do like Notre Dame this week. I think I'm going to take Notre Dame -7.
We love that. We love that.
It's just been that's been a huge game of the year. Now it's the first year without Saban, and Saban has haunted Kirby the last few years. I think Kirby's like 1-5 all time against Saban, and now Kirby goes into Georgia or into Bama as a 2.5-point favorite, which I thought was telling. To hopefully get his lick back on Bama, and I think they do. Honestly, I don't know what you think about that game, but I think Georgia can pull it out.
I like Georgia. It's interesting. I wonder how many times the Crimson Tide have been underdogs at home, in the last decade. Because I would assume it may be a handful. Like, I don't even know if they were underdogs the year that Joe Burrow went in there
I don't think so,
and won in 2019. I think they were still the favorites at that point. So I love Kalen DeBoer. I think he's a phenomenal hire.
Me too.
I truly, truly believe in that team. But I thought Georgia was the best team in college football coming into this season, and I still believe that. I still think they are at the top of the sport. I'm riding with the dogs as well. I'm interested to see your thoughts on Notre Dame, because the one thing that concerns me with Notre Dame is we cannot throw the football to save our lives. And I understand that we can run the football well, but if I'm going to be consistent across any of the content I make, I hate teams who cannot pass. I hate Michigan. I hate Iowa. And now I'm forced to hate my own program. I have a little bit of concern. The question I have is Louisville any good? Because we haven't seen that. They played Georgia Tech last weekend, but I'm not sure how good they are. And outside of that, they haven't played anybody.
Right. Yeah, well, that was my first thing, is they have not played anyone. I mean, the best team they've played is Georgia Tech, and outside of a blocked field goal on, the 5-yard line, they returned to the house to make it an 11, 12-point game. That game was close, the whole game. And Georgia Tech's not bad either, but Louisville being ranked 15, I think, is a little bit of an overestimate on their part. They have not played anyone. Shuck has been really good, but again, they haven't played anyone. So, and I don't think that he'll be able to dice up a Notre Dame defense. Their secondary is incredible. They haven't seen anything like it. I'm gonna go ahead and lay it with Notre Dame. I don't care how bad or how unable you are to pass. I think if you just hammer the run game, your defense is going to be able to keep Louisville at bay.
Yeah, and that's, as a Notre Dame fan, it's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah.
We're going to talk some Pac-12 After Dark. Well, what used to be the Pac-12 After Dark. It is now Arizona-Utah. This game, I'm pretty surprised by this line, and I understand Utah in Rice-Eccles Stadium is a different beast. They are so damn good at home. They are so damn good at night. But are they really 11 points better than Arizona?
Well, you have to understand I'm a little biased against U of A.
Well, as a Sun Devil, I get it.
But in all honesty, I don't see a lot there with U of A outside of Fafita and McMillan. They haven't had a single receiver step up outside of McMillan in that receiving room. Their running back room has not been great. And their defense has been god-awful, and if Rising can play, which I'm not even sure what his status is for this week or going forward. Because I feel like a hand injury doesn't last that it's not that long of an injury.
It's so weird, dude. He's been, and they're so closed doors about his injury. They were last year, they are this year now. They don't tell anybody anything.
Yeah, even with Zach Wilson's brother, he didn't look bad against Oklahoma State, and I know Oklahoma State's defense is all right. They have two really good linebackers, but I mean, they won the game in Stillwater.
Yeah.
So I would expect 12 points. I think they could I think they can win by 2 touchdowns. But again, like, I'm not sure if I'm the right guy to be asking here because I just don't like Juve.
That's fair. That's fair. One team that I'm not as high on as other people, and I understand why people are high on Boise State. They're damn good, and they hung with Oregon. But I think UNLV is the class of the Mountain West. They now have a home game against Washington State. Am I crazy to think that there's no way that Boise State should be a 7-point favorite here? Like, Washington State's not bad. They've looked good. I mean, they obviously won the Apple Cup, but I'm down on Washington. I think Washington State can win this game outright. I'll just say it.
I agree. I don't think Boise should be catching 7 points. In fact, I'll probably be riding Washington State spread with you. I don't know if I'll take the money line, but I don't like how susceptible to the run Washington State has been, and literally Boise State's best player is Ashton Genty, who's a borderline Heisman candidate. So, if anything, I'd probably have to take the over.
64.5. That's going to be a lot of points.
It's a lot, but you know what? USF in Miami was at like 65 and it went over.
Yeah.
So I don't know. And Washington State's been in some shootouts. And Texas Tech 2 weeks ago, you know.
Yeah, they were in a double overtime thriller with San Jose State last weekend. I mean, they both put up 50.
Yeah. So I mean, I feel like they can definitely keep up with Boise State. But if Boise State takes this win, are they the leading G5 team? I think they probably are.
I would have to assume so, because you get a win over. I don't know if you want to call Washington State Power 5 or not. I don't think their rosters, but they're better than some Power 5 teams in the country. So it is what it is. A Power 5 win, right? They have a close game against Oregon. I think if they can win them, I think the Mountain West is the best Group of 5 conference outside of maybe the American. I would just hate for Liberty to go because I think they're ass and they play the easiest schedule in the country. So that kind of rubs me the wrong way. There's nobody in the Sun Belt that really scares me. So I would put Boise State at the top of the totem pole. Truly.
You know what? Texas State, and if they beat ASU, like they scare me. Like I thought ASU was going to lose that game.
I bet on Texas State money line, and I thought they had it. That game was absolute chaos at the end of it, and
and the line. Oh yeah, because they literally said that there was 1 second left, even though Levitt went back 5 yards, and I mean, come on.
Yeah,
so unnecessary.
Dillingham was so pissed, and I love Dillingham as a head coach. I think he's a feisty dude. I think he's the right guy for that program, and for him to just be so pissed off in that sideline interview after the game. That was funny. It didn't matter. You still won the game, dude. But he was pissed, and rightfully so. Mad. Honestly, I mean, 1 second, whatever. All right, we got 2 more ranked matchups this weekend: Oklahoma State and Kansas State. Both of these teams lost last weekend. Kansas State loses in that. It was a 10:30 kickoff at BYU. I don't know what people expected. Those games are always weird as shit. Night games at Lavelle Edwards Stadium are weird as hell. That was a trap spot for sure. Kansas State coming off of a huge, a great win against Arizona, and then you have to go at BYU late. I don't believe in Oklahoma. What happened to Ollie Gordon, dude? Truly, he averages 4 yards a carry now, just under 4 yards a carry. That rushing offense was supposed to be great. The thing is that Ollie Gordon was, excellent last year, but they brought back a lot of their offensive line, and I thought that was really the key piece. And then that running game, I mean, be quite honest, it hasn't looked good, more or less average. So I don't know how I feel about this Oklahoma State team either. I'm riding with Kansas State -5.5. I think they win by a score at home.
Yeah, I agree. And it sucks because I had Oklahoma State being the second best team in the Big 12 because their offensive line literally starts, all 5 of them are redshirt super seniors. Not even just super seniors or redshirt seniors, redshirt super seniors. So you'd expect them with a Doak Walker Award winner to have a good run game, and it's been horrible. Like, how has that even happened?
This is me getting into like my conspiracy theory a little bit, but I wonder if something happened with Ollie Gordon when he got arrested for that DUI. Where
Did you tweet that? I think I saw you tweet that.
Maybe we're not. Yeah, because maybe we're not seeing everything. This is like it's
weird.
Bad. It'd be one thing if like he regressed to being like a still very good player, but yeah, they have not looked good at all.
And even like Bowman has been taking care of the ball more, but their offense just sucks. Like at least compared to last year,
Yeah, and like that's one thing where like I thought Oklahoma State would be in some shootouts, like Mike Gundy off, and I guess the Arkansas game kind of was, but I just don't feel any good about this team at all. Like I thought they were a surefire. I had them as the third best team in the Big 12. I thought Kansas State and Utah were 1 and 2. I don't even know if they're that. Like I have a lot of concern for Oklahoma State.
I think I'd take both Iowa State and Kansas State over them right now, and maybe even UCF.
Yeah. Honestly, KJ Jefferson, what a weird college career he's had.
Yeah, so weird.
But yeah, is what it is.
And RJ Harvey work though.
Dude, RJ Harvey's a dog.
Yeah,
he's a dog.
Yeah.
Where did he transfer in from?
I thought was there last year, but I could be wrong.
Maybe he was. But yeah, there's the Big 12. That's the one thing about the Big 12. Obviously, Texas left, Oklahoma left. Like, it sucks, is what it is. I'm glad that they've still retained their identity as a conference of like anything can happen. True,
yeah.
Like. It's such a fun conference. Like I think I tweeted out there were 7 teams that were plus 1,000 or shorter odds to win the conference. The next closest conference that was the SEC with like 5.
Yeah,
right? It's nuts. It's nuts.
So nuts, and that's why I remember everyone just really having such a difficult conversation, like on Twitter, I guess on X. Trying to pick their Big 12 winner and their Big 12 championship, and it was so impossible and hard. Like everyone was having discourse about, oh, well, this team's good. Oh, but this team, is bringing back this much amount of production, and oh, but this team is starting a new quarterback that should have been starting last year. It was nuts, and it still is kind of nuts. We're 4 weeks in.
That's the thing is I outside of Utah, who I feel pretty good about, which just.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kyle Whittingham for being just such a good coach, dude. He took Mountain West Utah to Pac-12 Utah to Big 12 Utah, and they've been the same Utah every damn year. They're going to be physical. They're going to be tough. Yeah, he's such a good coach.
Yeah.
But like outside of Utah, like I don't know if any of these teams are good. Really.
I agree. I agree.
Long-term question: do you think the Big 12 is a 2-bid league, or do you think they're a 1-bid league for the college football playoff?
Dude. You mean for this year or just going forward?
Yeah, for this year.
I had them as a 2-bid league at the beginning of the year. But if one of those, like if one of Oklahoma State or Kansas State or UCF doesn't, like, really step up and win, like, a shit ton of games just with Utah, then they're probably a 1-bid league, in my opinion. I mean, I don't know what you think, and I don't know what you think about the ACC. I had them as a 1-bid league, and then I had the Big Ten, the SEC, and I also had Notre Dame sneaking in, which still can definitely happen.
Yeah, I had my ACC 1-bid league was Florida State, which is maybe the worst take of my life. But I feel like I'm definitely not alone in that. At least, like, it'd be one thing if it was a crazy but Miami looks every bit of the part, and I understand Clemson. Like, Clemson lost by 30 to Georgia week 1. They haven't been bad. Like, they've been solid.
No, they're starting to churn now. Like, they're definitely starting to look dangerous.
Yeah, and their schedule, like, isn't anything incredibly frightening. They play Louisville, but, like, they don't – some of the ACC plays Notre Dame. They don't have to worry about that. Like, they play Florida State. I think they have that game at home maybe. But, like –
they go to Pitt.
Pitt? Dude, all right. I need your thoughts. I want you to be as biased as you need to be here. Eli Holstein.
Yeah.
Fucking dog. He's so good, dude.
Dog. And it's nuts, like, that he's a freshman because he doesn't play like one and he doesn't look like one either. I mean, he looks like a veteran in the pocket.
This might be a dumb. Like, how did he not get a shot last year at Alabama when they were trying, like, Tyler Buckner? Like, what? Yeah. He was on that roster. What are we...
Yeah, I don't know. And you know what? I'm, like, not as much of a Pitt fan as I obviously was before I went to ASU. Like, I obviously still will claim Pitt if I have to. But I was talking to my dad and my brother, and I was like, you know, Auburn's going to be knocking. You know, Florida State may be knocking. Florida may be knocking. Like, I don't know how much Pitt pays him now, but you might need to, like, double it. And so my brother, who's, like, he's very secretly, like, behind my dad's back, like, a huge college, like, message boards guy. Like, he really pays for, like, a subscription without my dad knowing.
I love that.
But anyways, he goes, Pitt's paying Holstein $1.3 million. I said, what? Pitt?
That's crazy.
Quarterback, $1.3 million? He's like, yeah.
That's
like,
insane.
that
See,
crazy.
I wish I knew stuff like that going into the season because I feel like it would provide a lot of clarity. Like, I knew Holstein, you know, was out of the roster, but I wasn't sure how, you know, if he was going to be the guy or whatever at the start of the year. And I wish we kind of had some of that background info because that's crazy. Like, I heard... I'm a Notre Dame guy. That's more than I heard Riley Leonard's getting. Yeah.
Wow.
Which is nuts. Nuts.
That is nuts. What's Riley Leonard getting? Like a mil?
But just over a mil. I heard it was like 1.1, 1.15.
That is insane.
Yeah. Crazy.
But they're also probably paying like a lot of their other good players a good amount of money too. And Pitt doesn't really have another really, really good player like Holstein. I guess Desmond Reed is really good.
Fuck it, we're putting all our chips on Red 18 and calling it good, and that is Eli Holstein, which, look, if you're going to put all your chips on a guy, Eli Holstein has been that dude. He's been good, man. And, like, Pitt, I put Pitt in my top 25. Pat Narduzzi, very underrated coach. Their schedule, not unbelievably difficult. And, like, they have a path to win, like, quite a few games in the ACC.
I gave my best bet in your magazine was Pitt over wins, and that looks like a smack.
That legitimately might be. I think somebody may have gone Florida State under, so maybe. But that might be the first season win total to hit out of any, because I think it was 5.5.
Let's go. Yeah, it was either 4.5 or 5.5.
Yeah, I mean we're close, and it is week 5 of college football.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I think they have Cal next week, which is going to be a little tough, but
yeah,
it looks
certainly
good.
A winnable game. I mean, shit.
At home.
Yeah, classic Cal Pitt ACC matchup. That's
so weird. Just like Stanford and Syracuse last week.
Yeah, Stanford getting their first ACC win. That was disgusting. I hated that so much. We have one more ranked matchup that I want to talk about, and then we'll get, you know, if you have any best bets, whatever. Illinois, Penn State. This is a matchup. It's 19-9. They're 10, you know, rankings apart in the AP poll. And Penn State is a 17.5-point favorite. Is the magic about to run out for Illinois here? Because, God, that's a lot of points.
It is. We didn't talk about this game on the show today because we just thought 17.5 point spread, like, that's disgusting. We're going to rather talk about other games. You know I don't like Penn State, right?
Yeah.
And last year I took a chance on them winning the Big Ten, and they shit down their leg, obviously, like they do every year. They're going to lose, and I will swear by this until Franklin probably leaves Penn State. They're going to lose every big game, but this I don't think is a big game to them. Like, this isn't an Ohio State or a USC later in the year, which I'm looking at as their first loss. This is just a regular, like, okay, we saw Illinois on the schedule at the beginning of the year. Now they're ranked, but I don't think it's a big deal. Like, this is not a big game to Franklin. So I'm gonna go ahead and think that Penn State burns Illinois here. And Illinois has been great. Altmaier looks awesome.
Yeah.
But I think it might be over for them.
The other thing too with Penn State, it seems like all their big games are played at noon. Like, every big game is a noon kickoff for them.
Yeah.
7:30 night game. Like, this feels a little bit better anyway. I think the whiteout's against Washington. So
It is, which
Okay.
is just weird.
yeah, that I understand why they did it. Washington, like, runner-up for the national title. I get
Yeah.
it. But
Yeah.
going into this year, Washington, there's a reason their win total was 6.5. Like, they're not good. That might be my
By the
most
way,
most
Rutgers.
bookmarked tweet of the offseason is me saying that Washington under 6.5 was going to hit. And I had 45 Washington fans in my DMs, like, hard. So,
Dude, yeah, because they were probably, I had some Washington friends from ASU, like they were still expecting them to be good, and I was just not buying it. They thought Will Rogers would be just as good as Penix. He hasn't been.
no.
He just hasn't been.
If Will Rogers did not play, I think there are some quarterbacks who play in a pass-friendly system, and we hype them up too much because they are in a pass-friendly system. I also
Yeah.
think there are some quarterbacks who are in a pass-friendly offense that are like, they're not that good. And that was Will Rogers in Mike Leach's system. I just think that's kind of
R.I.P.
yeah, the GOAT.
Dude, now they are rat
I read
shit.
his book, so good, dude. Mike Leach is just the fucking man. There's a whole
That's
chapter
probably a
on
good
Pirates.
book to read. I'll
Yeah,
have to look into that.
it's if you get some downtime in the off season, it's certainly worth it. But all right, let's do some best bets. What are your you have obviously I don't give away everything because you have the coin toss on Bookit Sports YouTube channel. Go give that a listen. I believe it comes out. Does it come out on Wednesdays?
It's on Thursdays now. It used to be actually on Fridays, but we were able to start getting production fast enough for Thursdays.
Sick. All right, so that'll be out on Thursday. By the time you're listening to this, it doesn't matter anyway because this is coming out on Friday. But God damn it, I hate production sometimes. I wish I could just not go to my real job and just edit this instead. Anyway, go give that a listen if you have not already, but you should. What are some of your best bets, Rav?
I like taking Syracuse. They're at home after a loss. They have, I think, high points. They're at either 21 or 26 point favorites, whatever. It's like 3 or 4 touchdowns. I don't think it matters. I think they're going to bounce back. McCord has been really good up until last week. I think they can handle Holy Cross, especially after a loss. And they're at home. Staying with that game, Stanford goes to Clemson after winning. They had to go back to California, and now they have to go back to the East Coast. I love fading travel. Clemson's been rolling. Clemson's at home again after last week. I'm going to take Clemson.
Okay.
What other ones do I want to give? What do you think about both of those? Do you like both of those?
I like the Clemson minus 22. I like a lot. That was on my especially too with Stanford. Like you're coming off an emotional win, your first conference game. This is a team that wasn't good last year, and quite frankly, I don't think the expectations were super high this year. So I think a little bit of a letdown spot plus the travel. I think you have everything in the right spot there. I have another team that I don't know how invested you are in the MAC this year, but
Semi.
Bowling Green.
Yeah, I
Kept
had
it
them
real-
last week.
Real fucking close against Texas A&M and real fucking close against Penn State. They're 8.5-point favorites at home. This is their first home game in 2 weeks. I think they might roll Old Dominion. I'm not a huge fan of ODU. I think their win total is like 4.5 coming into the year.
Yeah, definitely.
8.5-point favorites. I think they cover that number easy.
I like that. I'll take that. It was at 9.5 though, which is concerning.
Oh, it is 9.5. I just can't read.
Okay, nice.
Nice. This is the kind of research and high quality stuff you expect here.
Yeah, well, you know what? Like I'm always looking at lines. So you asked me about a line that was where it was at. I could be able to tell you. You know.
Hell yeah.
Another one. I don't know how many more you want.
Let's give me two. Give me two.
I like South Alabama to cover against LSU.
Wow.
Did you hear about Harold Perkins?
Yes. So he's done for the year. ACL.
So now they're down their best defensive player on a defense that wasn't really good already. It was solid. It was fine.
Yep.
And now they're down, and the running back. So they're literally just passing. I like that over too, but I think I like South Alabama to cover. They've been able to put up so many points the last 2 weeks.
Yeah. Well, and then the other thing too, South Alabama coming off extended rest, right? Because they played Thursday night.
Yes.
Get a little bit more time to prepare. I
Like
like that. I like that quite a bit.
Um,
I have an interesting matchup that I am just shocked. I don't know how to feel about either of those teams. Northern Illinois just lost to Buffalo.
yeah.
NC State might be dog shit. They're 6-point favorites at home against a MAC school. That line seems so wrong.
That's like a classic.
I kind of want to take NIU. I kind of want to be like, hey, your brain says like, oh, ACC team at home against a MAC school. Take that within a touchdown.
Dude, talk about a disappointment. I thought NC State would be so much better.
Grayson McCall, man. I loved him when he was a Coastal under Jamie Chadwell, but then Jamie Chadwell left for Liberty, and like I think maybe that was some of the magic because Grayson McCall just has not, and now he's hurt. And
Yeah. How did Morris look last week? I didn't even watch that game. I don't even know what I was doing.
I'm gonna be honest. I also did not watch that game because I was hammered drunk at my brother's wedding. So
Let's go.
unfortunately, I missed some of the evening games of last weekend slate. Believe it or not, the liquor got me. It came up out of nowhere, and it got
That
me.
happens. Yeah, I mean, shit. I would probably lean Northern Illinois, but that's just like a classic no bet for me.
Yeah, it's gross. It's gross.
I'd like to give one more that I really like.
All right. While you're finding yours, I'm gonna plug your social medias. So if you are on Instagram, it is at Tony Rav with 2 V's. I believe is your Twitter the same?
Yeah, I just recently changed my Twitter to that one too.
Hell yeah.
I wish it wasn't 2 V's, but unfortunately someone else is named Tony Rav with 1 V.
Yeah. Well, fuck that guy. All my homies hate Tony Rav 1V.
How about just like
so-
Rav? That'd be fucking sick.
Yeah, if it was just Rav.
Yeah.
I had a coach Rav. My offensive line coach in college was Coach Rav.
No way.
That was just his last, like just Rav, R-A-V. That was it.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a sick last name.
Yeah. I think he is now at Western Kentucky, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it's coaching TJ Finley.
Yeah. He's a big son of a bitch. Real good, great offensive line coach, though. But yeah, make sure you go follow Rav on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all of your stuff. Obviously, he does Bookit Sports social medias as well, so make sure you go follow those. Rav, your last pick. I can only stall for so much, brother. What do you got?
No, I haven't. I like the Maryland Indiana under.
Okay.
So Indiana's at home, which kind of scares me about that a little bit because they've been really good offensively, but they have not really played a good defense at all.
Mm-hmm.
This is obviously a Big Ten game now. Cignetti's been running the score up on those bad teams, but I think this is a little bit more defensive. I'm not sure about the spread, but I do like not a lot of points in their first Big Ten game.
I do like that pick. I like that pick quite a bit because, yeah, their schedule, real butter soft.
Yeah.
UCLA, not good at all. They played Charlotte, FIU, a lot of those schools not very good. So,
God, yeah, they played UCLA, which is a Big Ten game now. Silly ref.
dude, it's so gross. It's so gross. But Indiana, legitimately, I think they could end up like 6-0. Like,
yeah, I mean they're sneaky really good.
Coach Sig and Curtis Rourke, the Maple Missile. He's a dog as well.
Missile.
Yeah, Canadian guy. I think it was his brother is on the Patriots roster, I want to say. Practice squad, maybe. Nathan Rourke? Jags. It was Jags. I know he got some PT at some point, but yeah.
Wait, the quarterback, right?
Yeah.
That's the guy who made the insane preseason throw?
Yes.
That's right.
Yes. Yeah.
Good wool.
So football runs in these guys' blood.
For sure.
So shout out to Maple Missile. But Rav, thank you so much for coming on, man. We'll have to do this again.
Dude, please.
I appreciate you. If you are listening to this and you are not liked and subscribed to the channel, make sure you do that. and we will see you in the next one.